when you talk about the investment sales market and want to see, how much are you going to pay, a lot of it comes down to cap rates. Cap rates have been trending downward for several years now, or where they were relatively flat, and we're seeing some more aggressive compression now. But the rate of return or the cap rate is very significant in terms of what the first year of ownership is going to look like, and it's kind of the benchmark for what investors are willing to pay, or how much more aggressive they need to be, or how much less aggressive they need to be if they need a higher return, maybe on a property that isn't ideal. I work mainly on medical office buildings in that 5 million to 100 million price range. When you start looking at medical office buildings that are under $5 million, we start to see very different numbers. So we're going to talk specifically about 5 million to 100 million. And currently the trailing 12 months cap rates, based on my research that I back up with CoStar and I back up with Real Capital Analytics and many other tools that we have, is about 6.3% trailing 12 months. Third quarter of 2021 was right at 6.0%, which is tremendous. And again, that's an average. That includes the big, beautiful on-campus, attached to the hospital, sponsored by the hospital, MOBs, and it also includes the off-campus, far from campus, maybe no hospital sponsorship, maybe shorter leases. So it's merely an average. You know what? I was actually looking at some numbers this morning, and back since maybe 2013, 2014. So I'm going back like 7, 8 years. We have been between that 6.5% and 7% average across the board, and it hasn't fluctuated a whole lot. But over the last 12 or 18 months, we have seen some real compression on the cap rates, and either through COVID, increased demand, very little supply. It's in more investors entering the market. It's not uncommon that I get a phone call from a retailer or an office investor who tells me that we're shifting to medical office buildings because we like the flight to safety and the security that's offered with healthcare tenants, and we have $250 million to spend, and we have a line of credit for another 500 million. Okay, that's a real investor. That's a powerful investor. They might not necessarily get the ins and outs of healthcare. To some degree, it's my job to educate them, but the demand is only increasing. So I think the cap rates are going to continue to trend downward, not a massive amount, but they're going to have pressure on them to continue to trend down.